the Sultanate of Oman television. First, the headlines. His Highness Sayyid Shihab bin Tariq Al Said and Chief of the People's Defense Force of the United Republic of Tanzania review aspects of military cooperation between the two countries. With a cost of 41 million Omani riyals, the water supply project to the Wilaya of Al Jabal Al Akhdar is inaugurated. And on the occasion of the anniversary of Al Isra wal Mi'raj, next Sunday is declared as an official holiday for public and private sectors employees. Those were the headlines. Now for the news in detail. His Majesty Sultan Haytham bin Tariq received a cable of thanks from His Majesty King Abdullah II ibn al-Hussein, King of the Hashemite Kingdom of Jordan, in reply to His Majesty the Sultan's greetings cable on his 61st birthday. His Highness Sayyid Shihab bin Tariq Al Said, Deputy Prime Minister for Defense Affairs, received General Jacob Makonda, Chief of the People's Defense Force of the United Republic of Tanzania, and the military delegation accompanying him, who is currently visiting the Sultanate of Oman. His Highness, the Deputy Prime Minister for Defense Affairs, welcomed the guest, and during the meeting they reviewed the good relations between the two friendly countries and exchanged views on a number of issues of common concern. His Excellency General Sultan bin Mohammed al-Nu'mani, Minister of the Royal Office, received General Jacob Makonda, Chief of the People's Defense Force of the United Republic of Tanzania, and his accompanying delegation. At the beginning of the meeting, His Excellency the Minister of the Royal Office welcomed the guest, who extended his thanks and appreciation to the Sultanate of Oman for enhancing means of cooperation in order to achieve the common interests between the Sultanate of Oman and the friendly United Republic of Tanzania. During the meeting, cordial conversations were exchanged and a number of issues of common concern were discussed. Vice Admiral Abdullah bin Khamis al-Raisi, Chief of Staff of the Sultan's Armed Forces, also received the Chief of the People's Defense Force of the United Republic of Tanzania and his accompanying delegation, who is currently visiting the Sultanate of Oman. During the meeting, views were exchanged and a number of military issues of common interest were discussed. General Jacob Makonda, Chief of the People's Defense Force of the United Republic of Tanzania, and the military delegation accompanying him visited the Maritime Security Center. Upon his arrival at the headquarters of the center, the Tanzanian guest was received by Rear Admiral Saif bin Nasser al-Rahbi, Commander of the Royal Navy of Oman, and Commodore Adil bin Hamoud al-Busaidi, head of the Maritime Security Center. During the visit, the guest was briefed on the facilities of the Maritime Security Center and listened to a briefing on the center's roles and national tasks. The Oman Water and Wastewater Services Company held a ceremony to mark the official inauguration of the water supply project to the Wilaya of Al Jabal Al Akhdar. The event was presided over by His Excellency Dr. Khalfan bin Saeed al-Shaili, Minister of Housing and Urban Planning. More details in the following report.
Oman Water and Wastewater Services Company celebrated the opening of the water supply project to the Wilaya of Al Jabal Al Akhdar. The project, which came at a total cost of 41 million Oman riyals, is considered one of the most important projects implemented by the company, as it crossed rugged terrains including high mountains and steep slopes.
We are very pleased to launch our strategic project in Jabal Akhdar today. It's been a very challenging project. The water that reaches Jabal Akhdar has been desalinated in Barka, so the whole project from Barka to Jabal Akhdar needed extremely high operational level of efficiency. We have 6 pumping stations. The highest pumping station pumps water at 63 bar, which is considered a very high pressure, to ensure that the water gets to Jabal Akhdar.
Through 6 pumping stations and 4 main water reservoirs, with a capacity ranging from 1,800 to 5,000 cubic meters, The project will provide 1,760 gallons of water per day to the wilaya of Al Jabal Al Akhdar.
As part of the project and the future expansion, we're going to be focusing on collecting this water and distributing our wastewater system so we can collect most amount of water and then recycle that water to be used for irrigation purposes in Jabal Akhdar. So we're hoping that this project works as a cornerstone for the extremely ambitious projects in the tourism, agriculture, and industrial sector that the government has as part of its Oman Vision 2040 for Jabal Akhdar.
The project also has water transmission pipelines with a length of 36 kilometers, branching from the main desalination plant to Al-Dakhiliya Governorate, in addition to water supply networks with a length of 248 kilometers to serve all villages, communities, and modern development plans in Al Jabal Al Akhdar. From the wilaya of Al Jabal Al Akhdar, Salih bin Khalfan Al Rahbi, Al-Dakhiliya Governorate.
The Ministry of Heritage and Tourism signed an agreement with Eagle Hills Real Estate Company to develop the Mandarin Oriental project at Qurum Beach in Muscat Governorate. The project, which constitutes an architectural model for integrated tourism complexes, comprises a 150-room, 5-star hotel and 156 residential units, in addition to recreational facilities and gardens. It is expected to be opened in the third quarter of 2024. The agreement was signed by His Excellency Salim bin Mohammed Al Mahrouqi, Minister of Heritage and Tourism. Sultan Qaboos University launched the 19th Science Festival today under the patronage of Her Highness Sayyida Dr. Mona bint Fahad Al Saeed, Assistant Vice Chancellor for International Cooperation in Sultan Qaboos University. The festival is ongoing for the next 5 days. The 19th Science Festival stems from Oman 2040 vision to develop national capabilities through education, research and innovation. It annually embraces many student projects from various higher education institutions and seeks to utilize them in an optimal way through training and workshops. The Science Festival also aims to strengthen the partnership between academic and research institutions and private sector institutions. Some of the remarkable projects this year is one concerned with finding a solution to the oil leakage in the ocean, and another one which derives aromatics and perfumes from harmful plants. Still to come in our news bulletin. The Omani Maritime Heritage Festival continues in the Wilaya of Sur. Welcome back to the news from the Sultanate of Oman Television. On the occasion of the blessed anniversary of Al-Isra wal-Mi'raj, it was decided that Sunday 28th of Rajab 1444 after Hijrah, corresponding to the 19th of February 2023, will be an official leave for employees of the units of the state's administrative apparatus and other legal entities, as well as establishments of the private sector. The Ministry of Labor stated that the decision allows employers and employees to agree on compensating this leave if the necessity arises to work during the leave. The Ministry of Interior continues to receive applications for candidacy for membership of the Shura Council for the 10th term, which will last until Thursday, 16th of February. The Ministry of the Interior called on citizens wishing to run for candidacy to submit their applications through the election website or through the Intakhib application. Any applications for candidacy received after the specified date or submitted by other than the two specified means will not be accepted. The Capital Market Authority agreed to offer more than 377 million shares for public subscription in Abraj Energy Services Company after its transformation into a public joint stock company. Here is a report.
Within the framework of the efforts aimed at expanding the base of investors and shareholders from the Sultanate of Oman and abroad and attracting foreign investment in the productive and service sectors, the Capital Market Authority approved the prospectus for the issuance of shares of Abraj Energy Services Company, one of the OQ Group companies under transformation related to its conversion from a closed joint stock company to a public joint stock company by offering about 377,400,000 shares through public subscription.
The IPO decision is part of the government 2040 vision to exit some of the state-owned companies. Having Abraj as one of the first companies is a reflection of the company's readiness and success to be taken to the public market. And this will enable Abraj to partner with new strategic partners that will enable it to expand its operations regionally and internationally, and will enable it to grow further and maximize its revenue.
This subscription comes by following the path of the two parallel tracks in two categories. The first represents the offering designated for major local and international investors and founders with a maximum of 85% of the total volume of the offering, where the price range for subscription was set between 242 and 249 basis per share.
This IPO is very important for Muscat Security Exchange because it's going to get huge capital, new sector to be listed in Muscat Stock Exchange. We believe we're going to see good number of foreigners participating in the IPO. We believe it will also add a lot of expertise and experts which is in the country to participate in the IPO.
As for the offering designated for the second category, it's for small local individual investors, no less than about 15% of the total offering volume, with a maximum discounted price of 224 basis per share. Abraj Energy Services has announced the publication of the prospectus and the details of the subscription period for its initial public offering in Muscat Stock Exchange, which extends to next March, where the subscription is to sell 49% of the total capital of Abraj Company after the approval of CMA.
Within the activities of the Omani Maritime Heritage Festival in the Wilaya of Sur, the organizing committee of the festival prepared a reenactment of old ships' journeys. The reenactment displayed the old practices and preparations before sailing. Here is a report.
Old ships depended on seasonal winds to sail through the world. This is how old Omani ships used to sail to and from Sultanate of Oman ports such as Wilaya of Sur port. Those journeys were represented by a very detailed reenactment. Old maritime journeys in Oman used to start from the interior places, bringing goods on camels and traveling for tens or maybe hundreds of kilometers to reach the port of Wilaya of Sur via a special route known as the camel route. Camels reached the destination and received by locals with some traditional folklore arts, and then the loading process to the ship starts. Kids are playing some traditional games on Al-Batah Creek sands, and then all families stand to goodbye their relatives and wishing them a safe journey. Al-Ghanja Omani ship sails through the ocean via Sea of Oman to reach other ports across the world with its people and goods, where this reenactment is part of the Omani Maritime Heritage Festival, which is taking place in the Wilaya of Sur.
So what we have seen here is actually a reenactment of the old journey when they used to bring goods from interior places in the Sultanate of Oman to be shipped to other countries right from this port. Sultan bin Saif Sarai from South Al-Sharqiyya Governorate, Wilaya of Sur.
And now we have live from the Wilaya of Sur in the Omani Maritime Heritage Festival our colleague Sultan bin Saif Sarai. to give us more details about the ongoing activities. Sultan, can you hear me? Sultan?
Yes, Khalid, I can hear you. Actually, we are here in the Omani Maritime Heritage Festival, which is taking place in the Wilaya of Sur for the first time ever. As you know, Khalid, Wilaya of Sur, it's actually the land of skippers, it's the land of sailors, it's the land, I would say, of navigators and the land of shipbuilding. So this festival here is actually a very small representation of the very deep and rich history of this Wilaya. Many activities are going on in this festival. People are enjoying their time out here. We have here a lot of competitions as well are taking place, such as windsurfing competition, such as traditional boat race, such as tuna fishing competition, and other traditional maritime games as well. To get some of the impressions of the visitors, I have one of the visitors here with me, Abdullah bin Khamis Al-Farsi. Abdullah, please tell us, what do you think about this festival in general?
Well, it's Sultan, it's absolutely great. The vibes, the environment, and especially it's winter and the weather is so good. Everyone is out and happy. The festival shows its purpose, which show us, all the visitors, the rich culture of Oman back in the days.
Right. Abdullah, tell me, what's the most important thing that attracted you in this festival?
There are many things. But what I would say is the variety of the programs. It's well planned. Since we started in 3rd of February, every day it's changing and it's targeting a bigger audience. This time you could see kids are happy, programs for kids. You could see for youth, middle-aged, and for the senior people.
Right. Abdullah, I saw you actually on some of social media promoting for this festival since day one. So tell me, what is it the thing that motivates you to do so?
To be honest, it's the pride that we have to show our culture, rich culture, to the whole world. And to be honest, I got a really good feedback, and I have many of my friends, they have planned this weekend and the other days to come and visit this place. They're not only from Oman. The good thing is they are from abroad as well. So yes, everyone would be happy, especially locals.
Thank you so much, Abdullah, for being with us.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. So as you heard, Khalid, actually people are enjoying their time here. The weather is so amazing and vibes are so good as well. And actually it's good to know, Khalid, that the slogan of this festival is actually live the vibe. What a catchy slogan, isn't it? So people are enjoying their time here, and I highly recommend everyone, inside or outside the Sultanate, to come and visit this festival and enjoy these amazing vibes here. Back to you, Khalid.
Thank you. That was our reporter Sultan bin Saif al-Sarai reporting from the Wilaya of Sur on the Omani Maritime Heritage Festival. Thank you. The Omani-Libyan Business Forum was held in Muscat Governorate to strengthen trade and investment relations between the Sultanate of Oman and Libya and to accelerate the conclusion of qualitative partnerships that serve the promising economic sectors. The volume of trade exchange between the two countries exceeded $210 million by the end of October last year. The Royal Army of Oman, in cooperation with the Ministry of Labor, received a new batch of citizens for military training and to join its units. This comes within the national efforts by the Sultan's armed forces to accommodate job seekers. The new recruits will go under military training program after passing the initial test and evaluation stages. This is the Sultanate of Oman television. Before we end tonight's bulletin, here are the main headlines once again. His Highness Sayyid Shihab bin Tariq Al Saeed and Chief of the People's Defense Force of the United Republic of Tanzania review aspects of military cooperation between the two countries. With a cost of 41 million Omani riyals, the water supply project to the Wilaya of Al Jabal Al Akhdar is inaugurated. And on the occasion of the anniversary of Al-Isra wal-Mi'raj, next Sunday is declared an official holiday for public and private sectors employees. With that, we come to the end of tonight's news bulletin. From all of us here at the newsroom and the studios, it's good night and stay safe.